Mr. DeSantis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks to the witnesses. Mr. Henry Chow, he told the committee when they interviewed him that he had not ever rolled out a program that had complete systems-wide end-to-end testing. And I was just wondering for your take on that, to not have system-wide end-to-end testing. Is that a good practice?
Well, that's poor practice at best. I may make another comment about this if I could. I was, as far as what I know, right around the timing, the testing clearly was not adequate to put this system into production. And just my experience has always been, and I've had to live this, okay, where we made these hard calls, it's better to delay. And it's better to delay for two reasons. One, you only get that one chance to make that first impression with the system. And we clearly didn't do it well here, did we, with the rollout of HealthCare.gov. But two, and even more importantly than that, once you put the system in production, you got to operate it, maintain it, deal with all the customer issues and all that. And that in and of itself is a very large amount of work that takes energy from the team, rather than the team really getting to the point of fixing the system to the point where it's running well, and then putting it into production. And I know for whatever reason this October 1st date was viewed as immovable, but I think that was a very big mistake made on the rollout of HealthCare.gov.
I appreciate that. And you know, I was looking through some of the materials, and in late September, there was a memo that said that the ongoing development opposed a level of uncertainty that can be deemed as a high-risk security threat. And so when you see that, I mean, that seems to me that would be a big red light that this is not ready to go forward. Would that be how you would you concur with that?
Based on my experience, yes, sir, I would. That would be a risk that you would have to evaluate the October 1st deadline against what kind of operating risk is there, and can you mitigate that risk? And it would have to be fully explained to the leadership involved, in this case the CMS director, and probably further up, about what could happen if we went forward with the implementation and we haven't fully tested all of these things.
It's frustrating because so much of this law, and we see it in the implementation, was based on representations to the American people that have now turned out not to be true. For example, if you like your plan, you can keep it. If you like your doctor, you can keep it. It will reduce the budget deficit. We'll cover everybody. The most recent estimate is 10 years from now, you're still going to have 31 million people with no coverage. So this bill doesn't even do that. And as I was looking through some of the testimony, some of these regs that the people needed in order to start implementing it were delayed on purpose, on political decision, to get through the 2012 election. So these folks were in a situation where they had to kind of create this website, but they actually weren't given as much time as they could have had the administration been forthright about some of these things. But there was a desire to move this beyond the 2012 election so that the American people would not be able to fully evaluate the program. And so what I've just seen here today is that there was a decision by the administration, a knowing decision, to launch a website that did not work and indeed was not adequately tested for security. And I think this is problematic just generally, no matter what you're doing from a government IT perspective. But this website is unique because individual Americans, and we have millions of people now who are seeing their insurance plans canceled because of this law. It's not like that website's just out there for them. They are forced to get, under penalty of law, health coverage through that website if they're one of the unfortunate folks who've seen their plans canceled. And so we're in a situation where the government is going to tax them unless they procure insurance off this website that's not fully functioning and that has questions about its security. And so it's very, very discouraging. I know I have a lot of constituents who are upset about this. So I just appreciate you guys coming. I think that this is, in terms of a case study on how not to do something, I think people will look back on this. But I think one of the things was there were political imperatives here, and the politics trumped what would work and what would be best for the American people. And I think that's unfortunate. And I yield back the balance of my time.